Hey guys, Insomnia here with some more AFK Arena. Today we are back on the test server, the free-to-play account. We did have the brand new hero that just dropped, so let's go ahead and we will take a look at that hero. It is a brand new Graveborn hero, and there he or she is, Theowyn. So as you can see, remind me a little of Stitchy is what I'm kind of thinking there. It looks like she has her face covered. I'm not sure if she's going to uncover it, but the Fallen Princess, the Wailing Widow, or the Falling Princess is what kind of they alluded to a little bit earlier with the new hero. So let's go ahead and run through her stats, run through her signature item, her furniture bonuses, and see exactly what we think of where she's going to fit in. So look here, Spectral Divergence. Theowyn splits herself into multiple specters and flies in all directions, during which time she cannot be attacked nor receive any active effects from her allies' abilities, meaning that she can't be haste, she can't use any of the allies' abilities. Each specter that passes through an enemy inflicts 150% damage upon them. Afterwards, the specters converge on the weakest enemy target currently on the battlefield, which after Theowyn remanifests herself next to the target, damage dealt to the enemy during the ability's convergence phase is equal to the ability's initial damage. Wow. So that's kind of a lot. So essentially she's going to be in specters. She's going to break into a bunch of different specters, fly around, do multiple damage to multiple enemies, then converge on the weakest enemy target on the battlefield. Damage dealt to enemies, level 2 is 170, level 3 is 190% damage. All right, so the ultimate ability could definitely be interesting depending how much damage it actually does. Haunting Spectre. Theowyn enters spectral form to enshroud an enemy target and prevent them from recovering any health. So health recovery is going to go to 0. While the enemy is enshrouded, Theowyn deals 130% damage per second for a total duration of up to 8 seconds. So for 8 seconds, they're going to be 0 healing, which means if you're fighting teams that have Rowan, if you're fighting teams that have Namora, if you have teams that are fighting Theowyn, which is usually the case, you will negate the healing. Once she has finished enshrouding the enemy, she deals an additional 130% damage to the target. During the enshrouded phase, Theowyn cannot be attacked nor receive any effects from her allies. So second ability cannot receive effects from her allies, but this one, however, she cannot be attacked. Level 2, damage dealt is increased to 150%. Level 3, 100% of the health which should have been recovered by the enemy target will be, while enshrouded, is transferred to Theowyn, and damage to 170. So this is going to be your heal. Even though we're not receiving Graveborn support, this is going to be the heal that she has, similar to what they've done with heroes in the past, whether it's Nara with Life Leech and shielding, whether it's Isolde with his own heal. She has her own heal as well with the enshrouded heroes. So third skill, which is the Spectral Curse. Theowyn enters spectral form and charges ahead, cursing every enemy she passes through, dealing 130% damage to them. If the enemy is already cursed, the curse is removed, and Theowyn instead deals damage equal to 15% of the enemy's max health. So that's a pretty decent amount, ignoring all of their defenses. So she's going to have the ability to do quite a bit of damage, especially if you have high dealing or high defense tanks. It's going to completely ignore it. While in spectral form, Theowyn is immune to enemy crowd control. That's pretty cool as well. And then 150, 170% damage. And the final one is the Song of Mourning. Whenever Theowyn receives damage that exceeds 10% of her current health, the exceeding amount of damage shall be reduced by 55, 60, and 65. So kind of similar to Rowan with his damage mitigation. So if she's taking large hits that exceed 10% of her current health, it'll be reduced by up to 65%, which increases her survivability quite a bit. Interesting enough, she is a ranger. I thought she would be a caster. I assumed ranger, and then she is going to be continuous damage. So let's take a quick look at her signature item. You can see all of her spectral arms there, as well as the ones that are covering her face. So signature item, which is the Crown of Thorns. This ability is activated every 15 seconds of battle, meaning that she is going to be scaling to really get this to work. The one enemy which had dealt the highest amount of damage to Theowyn within the last 15 seconds shall be afflicted by the effects of Theowyn's spectral curse. So they're going to specifically target someone and activate it every 15 seconds. Attack rating of the cursed targets are decreased by 20%. Number of enemies targeted by this ability is increased to 2 and then increased to 3. So that's going to be really, really important, getting her signature item to a plus 30, similar to Soulless, where if you're hitting more targets, especially with an ability that is meant for one target, which is the Spectral Curse ability, which I believe was the one, Spectral Curse. So this is the one that you'll now be able to hit multiple enemies, and it does ignoring the defense. So very, very cool. Seems like she'll be pretty powerful in that aspect. Only thing that concerns me with the hero is, of course, being the agility class and the ranger, is that when she comes in close combat, she does not dodge magic, meaning she does usually die pretty quick, which is kind of crazy. So let's take a look at her furniture. Enemies cannot recover energy when they're affected by this Haunting Spectre. Enemies affected by the Haunting Spectre ability now give 100% of the energy they would have recovered to Theowyn. So 9 set bonus for her is going to be super, super powerful, because that is going to be a huge energy recovery or energy for Theowyn herself to go ahead and do her ultimate again. So she's going to have kind of her own energy cycle. She has a heal, she has energy, she's ignoring defense, she has, overall, seems like it's going to be pretty strong. We're going to go through the arena. We're not going to run through all of it. I just want to see her tested. This will be something that we'll look at a little bit later, because the trial does take a long time, especially with the team comps. So I just want to see how well she does here. We'll go ahead and slow it down. So there she just did her Spectral Shroud ability. There she flew through the enemies. I want to see her ultimate, where she goes in all directions. So here's her ultimate ability. Boom. So she actually does just a huge radius AoE. And right there, she just flew through. That is when she is inside the enemy, when she's enshrouding them. And then there's the big AoE. And then she converges on the weakest target. So very cool. I don't know if she's going to be super useful. Similar to Damon. Damon being a tank made sense. With her, it's just going to be another damage class. I'm not sure if she's going to be replacing Pharrell, if she's going to be replacing some of the other damage dealers. It seems like we really need Graveborn support, and she is just going to be another hero providing quite a bit of damage, which it looks got some pretty cool abilities here, but very, very cool to see overall. And that is Theowyn. So let's look. I don't believe anything else is up other than the Ezio rework. So remember, it was 27% and 8, which I believe that's exactly where it was. So the execution threshold, I thought they were adjusting. Let me look at the notes really quick. Raise the execution threshold limits for the ultimate Eagle Vision. Please view the in-game ability, which I believe that might have been what they changed. So the execution threshold, so they didn't change the percentage that the execution is going to happen at, because this was 1,000 and now it is 1,600. When you use it against other heroes, the maximum execution threshold value will not exceed, it used to be not exceed 1,000. Now the threshold is 1,600. So again, the execution itself is still going to happen at the same level or at the same amount of hit points. That does not change. And then of course the signature item was the other one. They have the execution raised by 50% for 10 seconds, which I believe that was the same. It says for the signature item, Assassin's Target, whenever execution thresholds are temporarily raised, the portion that is raised shall ignore the ability's original threshold limits. Oh, so when this is there, it's going to ignore the original threshold limits, which works. So it'll ignore the threshold limit of the 1,600, which is good. So overall, SEO, not a really big rework. I thought it would be a lot bigger than that. And of course, Verk, we just had a couple changes as well. Just looking through the patch notes right here. Everything else was just the Wandering Bloom, the new Voyage, but the new hero, Theowyn, is up and live on the test server. So if you want to go ahead and play with her, you can run through the trials, see the team comps. Let me know in the comments what you think. Not too impressed with the new hero. I'm still waiting for the Graveborn support, for them to add just another agility damage hero, especially when they just added SEO and they added Nakaruru. Seems like it's going to be kind of overkill with the team comps, but we'll have to see. We'll have to get her. We'll have to test her, see how well she's going to perform. She might be super broken like Damon was. But again, let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.